Beginners projected. Determination. 2 for impact, 2 for composition, 1 for technique, for a total of 5 points. I'm so happy! 1 for impact, 2 for composition and technique, for a total of 5 points. Touchdown saving tackle. 2 for impact and composition, 1 for technique, for a total of 5 points. Friday Night Lights. 2 for impact, composition, and technique, for a total of 6 points. Foul ball. 2 for impact, composition, and technique, for a total of 6 points. Michael Rivera, grandest of games in the early afternoon. 1 for impact, 3 for composition and technique, for a total of 7 points. Morris Stein, strike! 3 for impact, 2 for composition and technique, for a total of 7 points. Richard Stern, The Runners. 3 for impact, 2 for composition and technique, for a total of 7 points. Pat Camp, How Does This Work? 2 for impact, 3 for composition and technique, for a total of 8 points. Dalise Foglia, Barrel Racer. 3 for impact and composition, 2 for technique, for a total of 8 points. Joanne Pratt, Jumper. 3 for impact and composition, 4 for technique, for a total of 10 points. Bill Cashin, Total Concentration. 3 for impact, 4 for composition and technique, for a total of 11 points. David Stiff, Making a Point. 4 for impact, 3 for composition, and 4 for technique, for a total of 11 points. Jackie Carver, Race Log, Day 2, Wind 1 knot, maybe. 3 for impact, 5 for composition, 4 for technique, 12 points and honorable mention. Chris Kobos, Riders Closing In.
For the third place, I've awarded Chris Kobos, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, forgive me, Chris. Excuse me. Riders Closing In. I covered a lot of bike races, but this is a very nice image. I like the composition. I gave it a 5 for the impact. I think the position of the riders and the color, just coming straight at you, I thought it had a great impact for a sports image. And I gave it a 4 for composition. And you know what? It was a real close to having a 5 on the composition. But I gave it a 3 for technical. It looks like it's been really manipulated in Photoshop. You know, our rule of thumb at the Morning News is we can only adjust the photograph to make it look like the scene where we were. If the sky was normally blue, we don't try to darken it and make it really blue or too dark. We sort of use the guidelines of if we were in the dark room printing something in a larger or printing a print. But overall, I think the image was strong. So I give it third place.
5 for impact, 4 for composition, 3 for technique, 12 points and third place. Karen Mack, Yes!
For second place in the beginners category, I really like the photograph titled Yes by Karen Mack. Overall, she gets a 12, 4 for impact, 4 for composition, and 4 for technical. I thought the impact was great. I love it has a little emotion in it. In fact, I didn't mind having the legs of the other player coming out of the back of his head, but I like the way you cropped it with the hands with his teammate clapping. Hopefully that's his teammate. Anyway, I thought it was a really nice image.
4 for impact, 4 for composition and technique, for a total of 12 points and second place. Julie Horak, off and running.
Final award for first place in the beginners category goes to Julie Horak, off and running. I give it a 4 for impact, a 4 for composition, and a 5 for technical. I like the way you framed it. You got a point of interest. I like the little bit of the tree in the left-hand corner of the frame. If I had anything negative about it, but you can't control this, is the lady on the pink sort of looking at you and smiling. But hey, maybe she's happy. But that's really not your fault. But once again, I like the angle. Instead of shooting straight on, you're sort of low, it looks like. And technically, it's right on the money.
4 for impact and composition, 5 for technique, for a total of 13 points and first place.
A couple quick comments. So Morris, on your photo of strike, I think it's a great moment, but you need to lose the bottom third of the image. I would have cropped right underneath the umpire's legs. You do not need all that green. I would have tightened it up, zoomed in, or at least when you have the photo in Photoshop or whatever you use, just tighten it up, make it bold, and give it some more impact. Now for Barbara, for Happy, I can't really tell he's that happy. He's looking down. Maybe he's smiling, but I think there's probably a happy moment in there somewhere, but it's not in this image. But I would like to see more emotion if you're going to call something happy. And Bill, with your soccer photo, concentration, once again, it's nice peak action, good composition. Technically, it's nice. There were just a couple other photos that were just a little better. And then we're going to get to Dallas for barrel racing. You know, there's nothing wrong with the composition. Technically, I thought it was just a hair weak. Something with the exposure, the colors. But anyway, that was another close one. And also David with a point with the football players. I think it's a little soft. I don't care for the background. Maybe once again a longer lens. And Diane with foul ball. I would like to see really tight in. I don't care about the people in the stands. It's more about the action of the game. I just have been a little bit tighter. And Joanne, with your photo of the jumper, I thought it was an excellent way to show the rope. Nice action, good composition. Technically, you pulled it off, but unfortunately, there were some photos that were just a hair better. And touchdown saving tackle by Michael. Michael, get out the long lens. Those two guys run with the ball. They're a little out of focus, and it really fights with the three people in the background. And last but not least, Michael, on your shot of the grandest of all games. I'm trying to read my computer screen. Hey, for an arty photo, I get it. But as organized sports, I want to see maybe someone playing tennis. But hey, good try. The black and white was different.
Advanced projected. Susan Burciaga, field goal attempt.
Susan, I give you a 4 for impact, a 5 for composition, and 4 for technical. High school football is probably one of the hardest things to shoot for anyone, and it looks like you could have been up in the stands to do this with a long lens, semi-long lens. Timing is everything. You can't always get the ball, but the only way you could have improved on that is getting the ball in the image. I thought the impact was strong. It's sort of like a peak moment. And the composition was good. The only thing I would have done differently is come down and crop really close to the kicker's head. You can't help it to have those two people in the background, and your eye sort of wanders there. But I would have cropped it and made it really skinny, just for something to think of in the future. And technically, I'm sure it's a dark stadium like most stadiums are, and I gave it a 4, and I think you did good under your circumstances.
4 for impact, 5 for composition, 4 for technique, for a total of 13 points and honorable mention. Waylon Threadgill, ladies rugby.
In the number 3 slot, ladies rugby gets my vote by Waylon with a total points of 13. Waylon, I thought you had a perfect impact. You had great composition. And the technical, I gave you a 3. There could be some improvement on that end. Once again, it looks like it's been, colors has been enhanced or something. I can't figure it out, but overall it's a great image. I love the action, the girls getting ready to get the ball. You got great emotion, you got the person falling down. Rugby is a great sport to shoot. There's a lot of action to it, and I like your choice of lenses. Always try to use a longer lens and try to shoot like a 2.8 f4. Get your ISO down as low as you can and crank up the shutter speed. You really want to blur that background. So anyway, Waylon, good job.
5 for impact and composition, 3 for technique, for a total of 13 points and 3rd place. Philip Johnson, broken leg.
2nd place goes to Philip Johnson for broken leg. Philip, I thought you scored a 5 for impact. You had great action. I like the expression on his face. I like the hand coming up trying to get the ball. And for composition, I gave you a 4. You know, you can't help for people running in the background. That's just part of the sport. But, you know, you're real close. I would have probably burned down those legs a little more, but if you do it too much, it looked pretty strange. And I gave you a 4 for technical. It's pretty close to being perfect. The exposure's good. I like the choice of focus. You have really shallow depth of field, and you have peak action with a high shutter speed, it looks like. So anyway, a very nice image.
5 for impact, 4 for composition and technique, for a total of 13 points and 2nd place. Gary Coles, Mom's Night Out.
1st place goes to Gary. Gary shot Mom's Night Out. I can tell, it looked like you did a little fill and flash there. I like the impact. There's a lot of action going on. And Gary, you get a 5 in impact. You also get a 5 in composition. And technically you get a 4. Fill and flash is good if it doesn't look like fill and flash. Only thing I would have done is maybe set your strobe where it's putting out a little bit less of the light, and the choice of the shutter speed and the ambient light is almost matching the flash. So overall, I think it's a great image. The expressions on the women's faces, and I sort of like the refs in the background too, and you can pick up some of the fans. it all comes together and tells a very nice story.
5 for impact and composition, 4 for technique, for a total of 14 points in first place.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the images in the advanced category. Andrew, with your first grade soccer image, I think I would like to see a longer lens, and also get an image where you don't have all the stuff in the background. It's hard to see the ball, and I think you just need a little improvement on which image you pick from the game. And Ann, for the racing, the car racing photo, I'm sure there's something there, but this is not what I would call a great angle. I don't know if you could get around, but I like to see the cars stacked up. You might try something with the blurry, with some of the slow shutter speed, where one of the cars or some of the cars are blurry, or you could do a pan to show speed. Just a couple points for improvement. I think the sailing photo by Bruce called Race 4. Once again, I would love to see those sails. If I had a lot of people's faces on the front, that'd be a different story. And I don't care for the orange buoy in the front left side of the frame. It distracts. I know you're trying to say race and maybe they're coming around the corner, but once again, show me the boats. And Dave, on the rodeo shot, technically, well, first of all, you have great impact. It's great composition. The horses off the ground, the riders bucking back. Technically, you're just missing a little bit there. And Aaron, on coasting into shore, I like your composition. Technically, I don't know if it's just a weird day, but it looks a little blue. But it's not a bad shot at all. And we have Reed here with He's Safe. I think if the first baseman would have been sharp and a lot tighter, I don't mind the blurry guy coming across the first base, but it does show speed and action. But you need to focus on the guy, on the first baseman trying to catch the ball. And Steve, for safe at third, I like the angle, nice thinking, peak action, but I think it's a little soft, and also I like to see it a little tighter. And Steven, with strike one, it's just a really nice image. I would have cropped out the tree on the right-hand side. This would have made a nice image also with a long lens, where you can really blur the background. And let's see, we have Susan for field goal attempt. That's once again another nice football shot. I would have liked to seen the ball just barely leaving his hands right after he kicked it. I don't know if your cameras can do 4 to 5 frames a second, and if they can't, I think just try to anticipate the timing and click the shutter right when you think he's going to kick the ball. And Tina Ames, I think, balling the portrait of the 3 basketball players, or the 3 people under the basket. The lighting was good. I think it's a nice portrait. It definitely has a lot to say about that. And you would have placed, but there were just a couple more images that were just a little better. And also for Green Hill Hornets Soccer, Virginia, I liked the shot. I liked the composition. Technically, it was good. I'd like to probably see more action if he's a goalie. Maybe him diving to knock the ball off. But it's very good.
Masters projected. Steve Newman, The Stretch.
Now we're in the Masters category. I just want to say out of 14 images, it was really, really close. I think 3 or 4 could have won. I finally had to narrow it down and really pick hard to separate the first and second, third place. So my judge's choice goes to Steve Newman for The Stretch. What an excellent photograph, Stephen. I gave you a 4 for impact, a 5 for composition, and technically a 5 plus. I covered the Olympics, swimming at the Summer Olympics in Korea, and swimming was one of my favorite things to shoot. I like your angle. You got everyone just at their peak moment. The water is nice and bright, and I just really, really enjoy the image. You deserve higher, but like I said, everything was very, very close.
4 for impact, 5 for composition and technique, for a total of 14 points and honorable mention. The Stretch also wins the Judge's Choice Award for projected. Harry Rumberger, A Rugby Tackle.
Well, I know why you guys are in advance because, like I said, this category was very, very good. Third place goes to Harry for A Rugby Tackle. Harry, I gave you a 5 for impact, a 5 for composition, and guess what, Harry? A 5 for technical. So, like I said, there's 3 of y'all that got total of 15 points. The expression on their faces is very, very good. The composition is nice technically. You're right on the money. There's one distraction if I had to be a little negative on one thing, but once again, you can't really help it unless you really chose to use a longer lens and completely shoot at 2.8. It's the background with the red thing coming out of the guy's shoulder, but it's part of the game, and looks like someone playing tennis in the background. But I tried cropping it different ways. You could have probably come in a little tighter and just on their faces and eliminate the background, but hey, you got 15. Good job.
5 for impact, composition, and technique, for a total of 15 points and third place. Bill Nafee, Determination.
Second place goes to Bill for Determination. Bill, you also received a perfect score, 555. I love the sweat flying off in the background. Great emotion, great impact, great composition. Technically, you're right on the money. Very, very nice shot.
5 for impact, composition, and technique, for a total of 15 points and second place. Houston Brown, Caught.
This has to be my favorite image in the entire take of all 3 categories. Houston Brown with the photograph Caught. Again, all 3 5s. Perfect impact, perfect composition, perfect technically. Maybe just a hair darker, but hey, I'm just being a little picky. What a great image. I would be proud to put my name on a lot of these images that you guys shot. And women, I'm sorry, not just guys. But what a great place to go to shoot sports. And you nailed it. Looks like you were using some sort of a longer lens. It's definitely not wide angle. Looks like it's misty. It sort of adds a little mystique to the image. Peak action at the finest. The kid running with the ball, both of his feet are off the ground. The other kid flying. If this was entered in the National Press Photographers Association, we have a contest every month with photographers all over the country. This would definitely place in the top 3 categories, first, second, and third, on a national level. Anyway, it's been great looking at your images. I'm going to take a break, and I just want to come back and talk a little bit about the other images, just a few, and thank you once again.
5 for impact, composition, and technique, for a total of 15 points and first place.
Okay, I'm back. I I just want to briefly go over, just make some comments about some of the other images. Like I mentioned before, in the Masters category, Frank, I would have liked to have seen the entire cell in the racing photo of the boats. Even better yet, if you have a chance to get in front of those people, I would have loved to have seen the expressions on their faces. It's a nice image, but it could have a little bit more impact with the emotion side and the composition. Gary with the biker jumping photo, great impact, great moment. I know you got to have a reference to how high he is in the ground, so you had to have that on the bottom. Another good angle to a shot that is from the front, and maybe when he goes up, he might have a great expression on his face, or maybe he just holds his head down. But anyway, that was also a nice image. Then we're going to get to Jamie for Get Out of the Way. Another nice rugby shot. Once again, the background is hurting you on this. I just like to have my backgrounds really clean. Another magazine, or a magazine that you could look at to study, is Sports Illustrated. To really look at the images every week. They got amazing images, and it's a great magazine to learn and get familiar with sports. And also Jay with the interception. Not a bad photo. It's a little out of focus. If you're going to shoot sports, it needs to be sharp. And once again, I would have liked to see the player's face. And K, football and art. I think you were trying to be arty by polarizing, or I don't even know what solarizing. I don't know what you're doing to the image, but in this contest, or at least in this category for photograph, I'm going to be honestly and tell you I don't think it works, but like to see it without all the polarization. And also K for Down for the Save, great hockey photo, good emotion, good impact. It was a runner-up, close. And also Paula for Distracting the Bull. Another good image. I know it's dark in these places. The quality of the light hurts you a little bit, but nice try.
That concludes this month's competition results. Congratulations to our winners, and see you next month.